Hello there and welcome back. Tonight we will gently drift into a calm exploration of bacon's nutritional composition and the fascinating factors that make this beloved breakfast food far more complex than a mere indulgence. Fall asleep with the science behind bacon's nutritional profile, understanding nutrition facts. Imagine walking into a softly lit kitchen, the aroma of bacon slowly sizzling in the morning light, a subtle curl of steam rising from the pan as the gentle sounds of cooking create a rhythm that soothes rather than excites. In this tranquil space, we'll discover that beyond the unmistakable smell and taste, there lies a realm of scientific details worth uncovering, from the protein content that can help build and repair tissues, to the distinctive balance of fats that plays a crucial role in the texture and mouthfeel of every crispy bite. We'll also explore how bacon contains certain minerals and vitamins that might be surprising to some, and how these components taken as a whole give bacon a certain nuance that goes beyond a simple guilty pleasure. So settle in, let the calm presence of reflection wash over you, and settle down for a quiet, uninterrupted journey through the science of bacon's nutritional properties. Modern science regards bacon primarily as a slice of cured pork, traditionally sourced from the pork belly, yet the essence of bacon goes beyond the cut of meat itself, capturing a bit of history, culture, and culinary heritage all at once. Curing is a process that's been around for centuries, originally used to preserve meat so that it could last longer, especially in times before modern refrigeration, where salt and certain other ingredients were harnessed to keep the meat from spoiling. In the case of bacon, that process typically involves salt, sometimes sugar, and curing agents, which together transform raw pork into that deep, flavorful slice we recognize. The color can shift from pale pink to a richer, deeper hue, a change that can be traced in part to how certain curing agents react with the meat proteins. While the taste is the most apparent feature for most of us, there's a deeper biochemical story at work from the moment the pork belly is selected to the time it's sliced and packaged for our breakfast table. As you listen, imagine that soft morning light glancing off a rustic wooden cutting board, the bacon arranged in neat slices, glinting with a gentle sheen. Each strip is a tapestry of muscle fibers and layers of fat that interlace in distinct patterns. This interplay of lean and fat is a defining hallmark of bacon's texture, taste, and nutritional profile. Ironically, while bacon has a reputation for being heavily fatty, there is a noteworthy level of protein in each slice. Proteins, of course, are part of the body's building blocks, contributing to muscle maintenance, cell function, and countless processes that keep us going throughout the day. A single serving of bacon, though small, still brings with it a little protein, typically in the range of a few grams per slice, depending on how thick or thin it's cut. Now, as you softly breathe in and think about these details, picture how the curing process serves not only to preserve the meat, but also to alter the proteins present. The salt content helps draw out moisture, which is a crucial step in preventing bacterial growth, but it also influences how the proteins bind and how they eventually taste in the cooked product. Bacon is distinct from other meats in that it's made to be crisped, browned, or fried, further changing the structure of proteins and helping them to develop that characteristic savory aroma, owed in part to the Maillard reaction that occurs at higher temperatures. As the proteins and sugars within the meat combine and break down under heat, a cascade of flavorful compounds is created, each contributing subtle notes we perceive in every bite. At the same time, the aroma that we sense wafting through the air is a product of multiple volatile compounds released during cooking, scientific evidence that cooking is indeed a complex chemical dance. Part of that irresistible scent is believed to come from interactions between certain amino acids, sugars, and oxidized fats, reminding us that bacon's entrancing properties rest on more than taste alone. Next, we turn our attention to bacon's fat content, often the focal point of many discussions. While bacon is indeed rich in fat, it's revealing to note that not all of its fat is of a single type. Bacon contains a combination of saturated and unsaturated fats, with saturated fat being the type that is more commonly recognized and sometimes approached with caution due to its potential implications for overall dietary intake. Yet it also has monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, though in smaller proportions, which shows that bacon is not exclusively limited to one type of fat. In particular, oleic acid is a monounsaturated fat found in bacon that can also be discovered in other foods such as avocados and olive oil. While proportions vary depending on the specific breed of pig, feeding practices and others, the complexity of these fats can subtly influence flavor, texture, and ultimately, how bacon interacts with the rest of our meal. The presence of saturated fat, in turn, contributes to that distinctive mouthfeel that people either adore or approach with some hesitation. This is because saturated fats tend to remain solid at room temperature, which ties directly into the rich and sometimes buttery sensation that well-cooked bacon can impart. Meanwhile, unsaturated fats, which are more liquid, play their own role in how bacon cooks, how it crisps up, and how its aromas are released. Cooked bacon, with the melange of both types of fats, offers that uniquely layered bite that can be partially crispy yet still retain a bit of tenderness. The very act of cooking bacon renders out some of these fats, which is why after you've cooked a few strips, you'll see liquid drippings left in the pan. The behaviors of those rendered drippings under heat also depend on whether the fats are saturated or unsaturated, as saturated fats can be prone to solidifying again once left to cool, while unsaturated fats can remain more fluid. This observation subtly reveals how chemical composition helps dictate texture, even after cooking is complete. As you allow your mind to relax, envision how the lighting in that gentle kitchen highlights the bacon's shimmering edges, the interplay of glistening partially translucent fat, and the golden crisp that emerges once the Maillard reaction has done its work. One of the most intriguing areas of inquiry regarding bacon is its micronutrients, meaning the vitamins and minerals that may be present even in these small slices. Bacon, for instance, contains B vitamins, including thiamine, vitamin B1, riboflavin, vitamin B2, niacin, vitamin B3, vitamin B6, and vitamin B12, each of which plays a role in various metabolic pathways in the body. While the amounts in a single slice might not be extraordinarily high, these B vitamins nonetheless represent a small but noteworthy part of bacon's composition. And because bacon is made from pork, which can inherently carry a decent range of nutrients, you'll often find that these nutrients persist even through the curing process to some degree. Additionally, bacon may include trace minerals like zinc and selenium. Zinc contributes to many enzymatic processes and overall support within the body, while selenium, another essential trace mineral, is involved in antioxidant systems and other important processes. Both of these minerals, though not unique to bacon, offer a reminder that this food is not entirely devoid of valuable micronutrients, and that it can be viewed with a certain appreciation for what it does provide aside from that characteristic taste. In fact, Bacon's presence in breakfast fare might inadvertently deliver a modest boost of these nutrients when enjoyed as part of a varied set of foods that together might bring an even distribution of vitamins and minerals. However, as we sink more deeply into this calm reflection, it's important to acknowledge the other side of bacon's nutritional profile: sodium. Bacon's salty nature is arguably one of its most defining features, and it's rooted in the very essence of how it's made. When pork is salted or brined, the salt both flavors the meat and preserves it, locking in moisture or drawing it out as part of the curing process. The result is a slice of meat with a distinctive salty flavor that, while delicious to many, can contribute a fair amount of sodium. High sodium consumption, for some, is a dietary consideration, making portion sizes and frequencies of consumption important aspects to keep in mind. Though we are here to appreciate the science, not to pass judgment or sway personal choices, this part of the bacon story is worth noting in a calm way, as it underscores the fact that bacon's nutritional complexity goes hand in hand with considerations about how it may fit into various dietary contexts. One can still take pleasure in the revelation that bacon does contain nutrients like proteins, B vitamins, selenium, zinc, and even that intriguing mix of fats, but also recognize its concentrated salt content. Another commonly addressed aspect of bacon is its use of nitrates or nitrites in curing, which adds to the product's stable shelf life and color retention. These compounds help maintain that characteristic reddish or pinkish hue, acting on the proteins in the meat. While the science behind nitrates and nitrites can be quite technical, involving the transformation to nitric oxide which binds with myoglobin in the meat, from a relaxation standpoint, it suffices to say that these compounds help shape bacon's color and can be part of the reason bacon remains visually appealing even after prolonged storage. The transformation of these curing agents during cooking and digestion has been a subject of study, but in this relaxed setting we can simply acknowledge their part in the overall bacon narrative. In cooking, as the temperature rises, those compounds may break down and contribute to the creation of some of the flavors we detect and enjoy. It could be that every subtle shift in color or smell is linked to a minute chemical step unfolding in real time, reminding us that bacon's nature is far more scientific than we might guess when we take a quick bite at breakfast. What intrigues many people about bacon is how it can spark a sense of comfort. This comfort might stem from the warm memories associated with lazy weekend breakfasts, or from the primal allure of sizzling fat. But underlying it all is a tapestry of scientific phenomena, from protein transformations and fat chemistry to sulfur-containing compounds that can tantalize the nose and palate. Once bacon hits a hot surface, the interplay of temperature, time, and these compounds results in a nuanced layering of flavor that some culinary experts have spent years analyzing. As the bacon moves from raw to cooked, the crust that develops along its edges is a hallmark of the browning reactions taking place inside. There is something almost meditative about letting that browning happen gradually, with gentle sizzling in place of agitation. The transformation from opaque pink and white slices into a new form of crisp meat with a distinct aroma is impressively balanced between the dryness required to reach crispness and the retention of just enough moisture to avoid turning the slice into a crumbly chip. Meanwhile, the fats that remain can coat the mouth, creating a satisfying finish that lingers momentarily after each bite. If you find yourself feeling comforted by the thought of bacon's warm presence on a plate, you're not alone. as these sensory signals have a long history of evoking contentment. As you nestle deeper into the calming world of restful observation, consider bacon's protein percentage relative to its fat content. The typical slice of bacon is composed of both water and solid mass, which includes protein and fat. Depending on the thickness of the slice and the cooking method, the amount of rendered fat can vary, leaving behind a crisp protein-rich portion or a slightly moister, chewier piece if less of the fat has rendered out. In this sense, bacon can be thought of as a versatile canvas, its cooking time alterable to match different textural preferences. Some folks go for extra crispy, letting more moisture and fat transform, while others prefer a gentler cook so that the slice retains a bit more chew. From a biochemical standpoint, the transformation of muscle fiber proteins along with the partial oxidation of fats all combine to create a unique profile of taste, mouthfeel and aroma. This variety of results also explains why bacon can partner so well with different accompaniments at breakfast, from the creamy smoothness of eggs to the starchy familiarity of toast or the sweetness of pancakes. Each pairing can call forth a slightly different element of bacon's flavor spectrum. Now let us shift our gentle gaze to the micronutrient presence in bacon, with an emphasis not only on B-vitamins but also on minerals such as iron, magnesium and phosphorus. Iron and phosphorus both occur naturally in meats like pork, a reminder again that bacon isn't a purely empty indulgence. While the levels of these minerals may vary depending on how the pork was raised and processed, bacon does retain some residual mineral content that contributes to the wide palette of nutrients that pork contains. Some of these minerals may become less prominent during processing, but in many cases they remain detectable enough to be beneficial, if only modestly. Magnesium also plays a role in numerous bodily functions, including muscle work and enzyme actions. So though bacon isn't typically the first place people turn to meet their magnesium needs, it's still a subtle aspect of its profile. There can also be a small presence of potassium, though it's usually overshadowed by the relatively high sodium. The bigger picture then is that while bacon often comes with cautionary conversations about sodium and saturated fat, a balanced perspective can behold it as one source among many for certain minerals and vitamins that support overall function. For those who choose to enjoy bacon, especially in moderate amounts, science can offer these small but interesting glimpses into how it fits into a complete understanding of food rather than being labeled purely as something to resist. Relax as you consider that bacon's interplay of micronutrients is part of what food scientists study when they talk about nutrient density, palatability, and how different foods might complement each other at mealtime. Equally interesting is how bacon is prepared in many households, sometimes coated in additional sugar-based glazes or combined with barbecue spices that further elevate the flavor. These additions can subtly change the nutritional profile, often increasing total sugar content. Some styles of bacon come smoked, which adds another dimension of flavor, derived from smoke compounds infusing them. Smoke can not only impact taste, but also the chemical components, crafting new layers of complexity. From a purely nutritional science perspective, this is all a testament to bacon's dynamic nature, as no single strip from one household to the next is guaranteed to be exactly the same, thanks to variability in seasoning, cooking methods, thickness, and the background of the pork itself. In addition to nutrient content, we can reflect on how bacon might play a supporting role in different dishes. For some, a few crisp pieces on a plate might serve as an accompaniment to eggs, fruit, or other morning staples. In other contexts, bacon might be thoroughly mixed into casseroles, salads, or even sweet treats. Each method of preparation changes how the bacon is perceived and integrated. Warm slices in the morning can create a certain comfort, while crumbled bacon on a salad can provide a salty crunch to a bed of greens. This interplay of flavors, textures, and temperatures showcases how bacon occupies a unique niche among proteins and cured meats. Indeed, the cooking process might happen at lower heat, letting the bacon slowly release its fat over time, or high heat, searing it quickly but risking quicker browning. Even the type of pan or surface can matter. Some prefer cast iron for its resilience and heat distribution. Others choose non-stick pans for ease of cleanup. Amid these kitchen steps, the core elements of science remain, reminding us that bacon is undergoing chemical transformations, and that our senses pick up on these transformations from the first whiff to the final bite. Within the realm of bacon's complexities, it's also worthwhile to gently consider how portion size can affect one's overall. A single slice may contain a relatively moderate amount of salt, fat, and protein, yet multiple slices can quickly add up. This is neither a condemnation nor a direct piece of advice, but rather a calm acknowledgement that bacon is nutrient-dense in certain respects, especially regarding sodium and saturated fats. Nonetheless, for those who enjoy the taste, it might be reassuring to learn that bacon carries with it not only flavor, but also some measure of protein, certain essential mineral and B vitamins that can subtly bolster the wider dietary context of a meal. Still, the hallmark of a well-rounded approach is mindful inclusion, especially for those keeping an eye on daily sodium intake or overall saturated fat balance. From a culinary science viewpoint, bacon is particularly interesting thanks to the synergy between different cooking states: the raw cured state in which the slices are pliable and moist, and the cooked crispy state in which some of the fats have melted away or transformed in the heat of the pan. As we let these details settle, it might help to imagine the slow transition that bacon experiences as heat infiltrates the slice. Moisture is lost, pores open, fats begin to liquefy, and the proteins contract, eventually creating the curling effect we see in our pan. The edges often cook first, meaning that each strip might show a gradient of doneness. The sizzle slows a bit as the moisture content decreases, leading to a finishing stage where the bacon is purely crisping rather than steaming. Listening to that gradual shift in the pan can be a strangely relaxing experience, reminiscent of gentle rainfall. With an even lower cooking temperature, bacon can slowly crisp without becoming overly dark in color. With a higher temperature, surfaces brown more quickly, offering a characteristic char around the edges. All these manipulations reflect the underlying chemistry of proteins and lipids in heat, illustrating just how elegantly food transforms under relatively simple conditions. Another fascinating facet is bacon's role in the culinary world as a flavor enhancer. Chefs sometimes rely on bacon to add what has been described as umami to various dishes. There is a scientific explanation for this, as bacon's composition of glutamates, nucleotides, and savory-tasting compounds can amplify flavors, creating an overall sense of deeper taste. When combined thoughtfully with vegetables or grains, bacon's smoky, salty edge can pull other flavors into sharper focus. This synergy underscores the reason many people find bacon so tempting as an ingredient, not strictly as a standalone main course.
One might depict a simple salad made with spinach or red greens, then sprinkled with crisp bacon bits, allowing the leafy flavors to weave seamlessly with the savory accent. Although such dishes tend to add extra sodium, there is a certain gastronomic charm in the interplay of smoky, salty, and mellow notes. The next time you find yourself quietly standing by a stovetop waiting for bacon to crisp, you might let your senses note the transitions happening in color, aroma, and texture. At first, the raw strips might have a soft pinkish hue with pearly streaks of fat. Then as the heat permeates, the color deepens, the edges start to brown, and the gentle sizzling eventually transitions to a more intense frying sound. At the peak of cooking, the aroma fills the space with an almost sweet, roasted tang, softened by the warm notes of brown fat. If we linger on the olfactory detail, it's interesting to realize that much of what we call flavor is actually governed by aroma, highlighting that bacon's popularity is as much about smell as it is about taste. And if we expand that idea, each type of bacon, smoked, maple cured, peppered, or hickory, imparts its own twist on the aromatic profile, captivating our senses in different ways. In the nutritional puzzle, bacon's moderate to high levels of saturated fat remain heavily discussed, but saturated fat itself possesses properties that contribute to the mouthfeel and stability of many foods. In moderation, we can view saturated fat as one piece of a broader nutritional tapestry, acknowledging that other parts of our diet can complement or offset it depending on individual needs. What's more, not all saturated fats are identical in their chemical structures, and bacon's variety includes specific fatty acids like palmitic acid, stearic acid, and so forth. Although these details might seem too granular, they speak to an underlying complexity that ensures that bacon stands out. The interplay of these fatty acids with the lean muscle portion is partly responsible for bacon's ability to brown nicely and develop that layered flavor. When cooking, you might sometimes notice that the drippings let the pan solidify once cooled, a testament to the presence of saturated fats. Yet within that same mixture, if you observe closely, you may see some parts remain more fluid, hinting at unsaturated fats dispersed throughout. This mixture is sometimes used in cooking as a flavor base for other dishes, and in older culinary traditions, bacon drippings were prized for safety, especially in regions where bacon took a central role in home cooking. Each time the drippings hiss and crackle beneath additional ingredients, the distinct essence of bacon travels forward, layering itself onto the dish with which it's paired. Allow your mind to meander to the simplest pleasure, a still morning kitchen, a warm stove top, the gentle process of laying out slices of bacon in the pan. The day might be just beginning, sunlight filtering in calm, highlighting the edges of the bacon as it starts to sizzle. A sense of serenity arises from the process itself, reminding us that cooking is often a quiet interplay of nature's gifts, proteins, fats, mineral, plus our slow transformation of them through heat. If we accept bacon as a perfect example, we see that this seemingly humble food is indeed the microcosm of scientific processes, from the proteins that tighten and brown, the fats that melt and transform, the vitamins and minerals that remain, to the salt that underscores its curing roots. Each aspect of bacon reveals another facet of the culinary and nutritional world. Some like to incorporate bacon in a variety of dishes all day long, from breakfast scrambles to sandwiches at lunch, to even flavor enhancers in dinner stews. The infiltration of that smoky essence can brighten certain dishes, Others keep the bacon strictly in the morning domain, pairing it with bean toast or fresh fruit. In any case, each choice highlights the fact that bacon's presence is flexible, bridging a gap between distinct motivations: a protein addition, a source of savory flavor, or a nostalgic treat. While we acknowledge bacon's high sodium content, we can appreciate the quiet synergy of its positive qualities, such as decent protein and trace minerals that can be of interest to those who delve into the science of food. Mindful consumption can let us find a middle ground where we neither demonize nor glorify bacon, but see it for what it is: a curiosity in the world of culinary chemistry, a food that triggers multiple sensory pathways, and a slice of cultural tradition passed down through generations. In some circles, bacon is revered for flavor, while in others, concern is raised about sodium and saturated fat. Yet, hovering above the discussions is the gentle realization that understanding is the key to making informed but balanced choices, and that is precisely what we're making space for here. Neutral, open-minded vantage point, guided by scientific curiosity, letting us delight in bacon's wonders, while still remembering to see the broader picture. We can marvel at the crisp edges and shimmering surface, the swirl of aromas, and the interplay of taste and texture, all while acknowledging that each strip of bacon represents centuries of culinary tradition, cultural evolution, and scientific growth. If your eyes are now growing heavy with relaxation, let this knowledge of bacon's nutritional composition and chemical transformations slip into a restful place in your mind. Or it can greet you with quiet confidence whenever bacon makes its presence known again. Whether you're intrigued by the protein, the fission, the zinc, or the cherished smoky aroma, you can reflect on how these elements come together in harmony. Our gentle narration also reminds us that bacon, like any other food, is part of a vast tapestry that composes the human diet. It interacts with other ingredients, cooking techniques, and personal preferences to create an overall sense of pleasure and nourishment. To carry that sense of calm curiosity into your next encounter with bacon, simply remember the small stories, the transformations, and the interplay of fats, both solid and liquid. The welcome contribution of big vitamins, selenium and zinc, and the cameo role of sweet but softly bits, which stands out more starkly in something like bacon than in many other foods. Holding these ideas lightly and without judgment can be a lovely way to appreciate the scientific depth behind such a familiar slice of cured pork. So when the morning comes and the gentle sunlight streams a little brighter on your cutting board, if you happen to be preparing bacon, recall how every snap, sizzle, and pops is rooted in processes we can explore. It's a reminder of how the act of cooking can be a microcosm of chemistry, biology, and physics, all choreographed by a simple piece of meat in a warm pan. And at the end of these reflections, thus gracefully eats into a soft farewell. Our explorations into bacon's nutritional facts has offered a deeper understanding of its protein, fat profile, and micronutrient traits. As you drift off, let these gentle thoughts on bacon be a little bit of quiet sounds. May this calm knowledge bring a sense of balance and appreciation for the intricate wonders that can hide in our most commonplace foods. With that, I wish you a soothing and restful night. and make you fall asleep in peace, knowing that the warmth of bacon is far more than just its aroma, but a delicate tapestry waiting to be understood. Good night.